Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball figure unboxing video, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the big one. This is the figure that everybody has been waiting for, whether you're a figure collector or you just peek in occasionally and you're like, ooh, that's a pretty spicy meatball. We have today the Ichiban Kuji / Ichiban Show Dragon Ball Super Broly King Cluster back to the film. Full power Broly. Oh my gosh, look at this big lad. This is one of the times that I think I've had the camera zoomed out the most easily in the history of me unboxing Dragon Ball figures on YouTube because the box is so big. By the way, the product is included, thank God, because I was, kind of hoping that it would be. Obviously, it kind of gives you a little disclaimer that it might not look exactly like the box, which is obviously accurate, because, of course, most of the time when it comes to these things, they use the actual production images for these rather than the actual images of the figure, which, Bandai being Bandai, of course. And as always, have to give a huge shout out to the boys over at Bluefin for helping these products get overseas. You love to see it. So let's go ahead and get him out of the box. I am absolutely ecstatic to open this thing. I know this is probably one of the videos that my audience has been looking forward to me doing for a while now. I can tell you with certainty that I have also been looking forward to doing this video as well. And I will tell you as well, I did forget to mention this in the Back to the Film Cooler video. I did actually get all of my Back to the Film Ichiban Kuji figures at a discount, and that's because at the time, GameStop was having a promotion where they had a bunch of different anime figures on sale for ridiculous prices. So, like, this guy is easily $50 upward, and I actually got him for $37, I believe, on my Amazon order, which is pretty crazy, all things considered, because I know that this guy is much more expensive than that. So, can't believe that one of my most anticipated figures of, frankly, all time, I actually got a very, very big discount on. Very crazy. Let me go ahead and pop that out. There we go. I was trying to get that to uncouple. Alright, so this is going to be difficult to do. Let me go ahead and give you the light here. Oh! So, I don't want to break anything, and I want to be careful because this thing is in a clamshell, but I don't want it to just come careening out of the box. So, we're going to be very... Let me just pull lightly, maybe? I don't want to, like, start pulling, and then the whole thing just comes flying out, you know what I mean? Let me grab it by the edge, maybe? I gotta say, as well, I do quite like the box. Obviously, the box is giant because the figure is giant, but... Oh, yeah, boys, we're getting in there. We are definitely getting in there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Oh, yeah. That is heavy. No wonder. Okay. I mean, he is literally, like... super big, so it doesn't surprise me that, he is that heavy. Alright, let's pull the box away. I, by the way, am not only so excited for this figure just because of everything that it is, but the fact that they finally made a King Cluster figure where it's not just in the default pose is great. Wow, my box is literally collapsing from this guy's might. Okay, so, wow, I don't know if the box is supposed to look like that, because that looks a little goofy. It kind of looks like his legs are escaping from their plastic prison. It does look like this is supposed to connect somewhere, but it looks like my box is very, very bent. We can zoom in a little bit now, or I guess we'll tiptoe ourselves a little bit closer is kind of more like it. So let's go ahead and take this off. However we may do that, I think this is probably taped up. This thing is definitely going to take a little bit to get into because obviously they have it taped up so it's hard to, get damaged. Let's go ahead and get the legs out. How is this attached? This is so odd. Okay, so let me spin it around for you. Basically, the legs are attached to the plastic? Oh, it's all one piece. Is this going to fall? No, okay. This is all in the same bag. This is very weird. I've never seen them do it like this. So, the figure is, like, kind of put together, but it's still two pieces. Let's go ahead and just get the clear stand out here. literally just a clear stand for his foot. And let me go ahead and move this plastic to the side so we can get our big boy all front and center here. Okay, so yeah, so this is really weird. I've never seen them do a figure like this where they have it's in the same bag. Yeah, there's like no in between, but it's just like kind of just chilling there. I don't know. It's really weird. All right, let me go ahead and pull the legs out. Oh my gosh. So let's take a look at this first. Wow. Look at the immaculate detail on Pa's ear. Oh! Wow. That is crazy. This really does look like a pelt with the way that they did it. Look at the way that, like, the white on the bottom of the pelt. I don't know if, obviously, you know, maybe that would have to be your thing that you've seen an animal pelt before, but this looks exactly like that. I love the way that they did the fur. It feels very bumpy, very sharp, actually. Ow. It looks perfect, though. His legs look great. Let's go ahead and get the bubble wrap off of his feet. Ooh, the boots are really intense. I don't know, that's such a weird word to use for boots, but, like, look at the way that the boots are made. They feel very scrunched around his foot, like he's definitely been fighting, and his shoes are messed up from battling it out in the Arctic. Absolutely. That's crazy. Those look really good. Okay, so I assume he can't stand on his own, probably. So let's go ahead and actually just attach the stand to his foot. Let me just fold that over there. That should be fine. So, how does this attach to him? Let's actually see. We'll go down a little bit so that we can get this. Is it here, or I assume it's here? Okay, so it's in... Oh, I don't know what's the back or the front yet, I guess, but I guess it goes here. This feels so weird because, like, look at the way that his foot is arced. I've never seen a figure like that, but I assume that that's specifically made to fit on here, and that's why it looks like that. Okay, wow, this is going to be a very interesting experience. I've never unboxed a figure that has had a foot like that before. Wow, how does this fit in? This definitely feels kind of correct, I think. It feels like it fits in the notch. It still looks very odd, though. Oh, I didn't even notice. Look at that. The bottom of his shoes have some detail as well. That's pretty cool. Alright, I think that's in. It kind of doesn't feel like it's in all the way. Because, look, it definitely looks like there's a little bit of give. Yeah, that definitely feels really odd. It won't be really any easier once we get him actually put together. So, I like to get this put together now. I guess I'll just shove that there and call that good. He still doesn't really seem like he balances too well. But I'm assuming that's just because... since he doesn't have any weight on the front at the moment, and he only has the Ba's ear, you know, kind of giving up all this weight towards the back, I assume that's why. It's like sort of standing right now, but kind of not really. I'm definitely going to be careful with this. Let me go ahead and prop this against the shelf here for now, as we go ahead and pan back up and get a little bit closer in to take a look at the body. So I do think that the original production images definitely looked better for this guy, like what's on the box, right? But I definitely have to say, I do quite like the final product. Woo-hoo-hoo! So the face is really the only thing for me that I think compared to the original production image, I'm not particularly as much of a fan of. Let me give you a quick side-by-side. Of course it unfocuses when I say that. There you go, like that. But I still think that the reason why I really love this figure, which is obviously the sculpt of the body, is absolutely perfect. They did such a good job sculpting Broly's muscle. Look at all those crazy veins. Obviously, the cuts in Broly's skin look like they're actually cut from, like, real human skin. I mean, I know he's a Saiyan, but you get the point. It looks really, really cool. I love the immaculate detail on here as well. I love the way that the hair also looks a little bit more intense. It looks very like, you know, like explosion, like mid-battle, rather than the big chunks that Bandai does a lot. And the back muscles are insane. Holy cow. That's wild, bro. The back is absolutely wild. And I am happy to report that the only QC issue I see really is here on the back. And right there on his arm, there's a little black spot. But I'm not seeing anything on the front of the body which is where I would hate for there to be something. So he looks good otherwise. No black marks on the white eye, which is also, you love to see it, because my original King Cluster Broly had that, and I had to give that a little bit of a fix myself. But let's go ahead and prop him on to the body here. This is, ooh, this feels really weird. How does this exactly go on? I'm kind of scared to push it on, but it has to fit, right? Oh, that feels weird. That feels really weird. Okay. Look at, all right, figure complete, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that one bit. It feels very weird to put it on, but I guess, like, this is not a figure I assume you're going to be really taking apart, so I guess it's okay to have it be definitely more of a snug fit than some other figures for sure. Yeah, like, look at that at the moment. Oh, also, I'm just letting you know in advance, this is going to be really painful to do because you have to put your hand on his head, and those spikes hurt. That is nothing to scoff at. That already looks pretty decent, honestly, but there is definitely a little bit more give that Broly can give to me. So let's go ahead and push a little bit more. Let me actually lift him off the table. I might break my little table here. Low-key trying to do this. Okay, maybe that is in all the way. I mean, it looks fine, so I wouldn't mind if, like, even if there is a little bit of gapping, if that's just the way that it is. But, yeah, I think that's fine. I'm using my full muscle strength as much as Broly is here to flex his mind out. So, yeah, I think that's probably it. Okay. So he obviously he does stand by himself? What? Wait, the stand isn't connected. Well, that's impressive. I actually did not expect that. It's definitely not stable. As you can see, he's very wobbly. So it's definitely not perfect, but I guess he can stand by himself. I would not trust that, though. Oh, yeah, he is definitely a lot more weighted. Let me go ahead and press that back in now. It's just weird because most of the time with Ichiban Kuji figures, the stand just kind of snaps into place, but this one sort of just sits there. But there you go. There is the big boy Broly himself. Oh, man, this is a crazy figure. Yeah, see, it's not sitting properly. You see he tilted. It's not, like, actually in there. I'll have to see if I can find a fix for that, maybe. Ooh, I do kind of see, actually. That's a pretty gnarly scuff mark right there. I don't think that's a part of the figure, that little black mark right there. But thankfully that is on his back, which, to be honest, like, still, in my opinion, is definitely not an excuse that it's there, because obviously, you know, this is a pretty expensive figure, all things considered. But, if it's going to be on the figure, because I know that it's going to be on the figure, because it's Bandai, obviously I would rather it be on the back than on the front. So yeah, honestly, this is one of the worst figure stands that I think I've ever seen for one of the best figures that I've seen in recent time, which is kind of weird, because it just does not stay. As I'm spinning him, you saw him kind of tilt a couple of times. But man, this is a very impressive looking figure. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons for this man. He is going to basically tower over everything, so I don't even know why, but let's do it. To start us off, as always, we have the Ichiban Kuji Gotenks, and the, I guess I'll put him right here. I don't really know where to put him, because if I put him back there, he's going to be kind of blocked. We have, of course, the WCF Super Saiyan Blue Goku, who obviously pales in comparison to Broly. I don't even think that it's like a contest, honestly, who is the bigger figure out of these guys. Now, Broly is obviously not incredibly tall, which sounds really weird to say, but of course, because he's in this squatting position, he's more wide than anything, especially with his spread out stance. He doesn't even stand up to a foot tall. If we take a little look-see to the back here, we can see that he stands at about, I'd say 10 inches-ish. It kind of on camera looks a little bit, it looks a little bit higher than 10, but that's just because, unfortunately, camera angles are not really good for measuring this. But I'd give him just about 10 inches, honestly. I know it looks a lot more like 11 on camera, but see, if I bring it up, it's like, oh, well, now he's only 9 inches tall, which is obviously not true. But if I had to say, it's just about there from my angle. So he's just above 10 inches with, obviously, the highest point of his hair being there. which makes sense because obviously, again, like I said, my boy wide. My boy got that wide stance. So I do have a couple of figures to compare to him today for you. Of course, being a part of the Back to the Film Kuji set, we're not going to keep him here for long because there's other characters that I would rather compare him to a little bit more. But we do have the Back to the Film Masterlize Extra Cooler. That was actually our last review at the time of recording. And these guys do look really sick together. Obviously, being from the same set, they are, you know, sort of meant to go together. And they look really, really great. Obviously, Broly is a lot more intense in terms of his sculpt. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that they still look good together because Cooler definitely looks like he just transformed, but still has a lot of really detailed sculpt and looks very realistic, I guess you could say, while still staying anime accurate. Both of these guys look great together, though, and I'm very happy to have both of them in my collection. Moving on from the boy Cooler, of course, I had to bring out the OG himself. I couldn't not have a video where I review a new King Cluster Broly and not bring out the OG GOAT. That, of course, being, like I said, the OG. Stay, please. Okay, he doesn't like to stay very well. The original King Cluster Broly. And I have to say, these guys do look really, really cool together. Obviously, if you are a fan of Broly, these two are a must-have for your collection. I think it's safe to say that I easily like the Back to the Film Kuji one more. That's just because, of course, the crazy sculpting is absolutely awe-inspiring. It kind of almost reminds me of, like, the Back to the Film Kuji one kind of looks like a fan-made, hyper-realistic Broly, while the original King Cluster Broly sort of looks more in the style of the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Not completely to the style, obviously, but it's a lot more simplistic, a lot more softer edges, right? A lot more of a lighter feel to the figure, rather than, of course, the Back to the Film one having veins popping out every which way. But, of course, they look absolutely fantastic together, and I think you can really see the immaculate sculpting come to life on the Back to the Film one, especially looking at it compared to the original that has that lot more simplistic sculpt. Moving on, I did want to bring out a Ichiban Kuji figure of our blue boys. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a Gogeta that is an Ichiban Kuji figure, which is whack, kind of considering the fact that I've taken a look at so many Super Saiyan Blue Gogetas. But, of course, we have the Super Saiyan Blue Goku here. This guy actually is from the same Ichiban Kuji set as the OG King Cluster Broly. And these guys do look really great together. I think that this is pretty close to the actual accurate size between these two. Like, I think that Broly, at least in this form, would be this big compared to Goku. Maybe he's a little bit bigger than Goku, or I guess you could say Goku's a little bit smaller in this case. Kind of the same thing. But nonetheless, these guys look fantastic together on some kind of crazy setup where you have like the Broly movie landscape. These figures would look perfect together. This really makes me want them to make a Broly like this, sculpted in this way, where he first comes out of the ground, right, in his full power form, because obviously this is the pose that Goku takes during it. But either way, this looks fantastic. It almost kind of reminds me of like the MUI versus Jiren pose with Goku stanced up against Jiren, but instead it's Blue Goku and Broly, which I think is pretty neat. And last but not least, of course, I couldn't not include one Blue Gogeta figure, and the biggest Blue Gogeta figure that I have besides the Grandista one is actually the very first Blue Gogeta figure that we got, which I'm very happy that I actually own this guy, of course, that being the Namco Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. I'm still punching myself every single day because I got this guy for 30 bucks originally, which was a steal, and I was going to get the base form one, but I passed, and now it's like double the price. But regardless, obviously, next to Broly, this looks fantastic. You can definitely see this, almost said, I don't know what I was actually going to say there. Holy cow, I'm sorry. Broly is literally making me lose my mind here. I'm turning into full power Broly. Obviously, the simpler sculpt, there we go, on the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is, you know, kind of telling compared to the crazy sculpt on the Back to the Film Kuji Broly. Of course, I don't think either one is better than the other. It's just simply different styles, right? But nonetheless, I think that the Namco one definitely fits a little bit more with the King Cluster Broly of the original variant. But nonetheless, still look fantastic together. Obviously, having a Gogeta face off against Broly is exactly what we want from a figure setup, and this is definitely a good option. I'll have to look into some other blue Gogetas as different alternatives to put up with this guy. I know I definitely have one in my room that I have still not taken a look at that I need to eventually, that will definitely be shown off. Well, at least I should say Broly will be shown off in that video when I eventually take a look at him. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This was an absolute blast to take a look at this guy. Obviously, this is a figure that I know a ton of people have been super excited about. So I am really excited that I got to take a look at him for all of you. Of course, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I am trying to boost this channel up a little bit, as this is now obviously the channel dedicated to figure unboxings. So I'd love if this channel could be successful as well, because I love doing these and I want to keep doing these videos for a long time, because I love Dragon Ball figures, frankly. And opening figures like this reminds me why I love this hobby so much. Seeing stuff like this appear on my doorstep, cracking it open, and taking a look at just the insanity that is on display from this Broly here makes me love this hobby even more. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to support me as well a little bit more, you can also do so on my Patreon. The Patreon is now exclusively for Dragon Ball figure content, or well, I guess figure content on this channel, right? Because I may or may not do some other things besides Dragon Ball, but the weekly uploads will still be Dragon Ball figures. But if you'd like to do that, please do it in the description below. But of course, please do not feel obligated. You watching the video is what I like to see. Obviously, that is the biggest up for me, that you guys enjoy the content that I bring to you. Hope you guys enjoyed. Speaking of which, and if you did pick up this figure, of course, let me know in the comment section below what you think of him. I'm sure that it's going to be an overwhelmingly positive response, because I don't think I've seen a single person say that they didn't like this figure, and I wholeheartedly agree as well. If you would like to pick up this figure for yourself, I will leave some links in the description below where you can do so. Of course, if you pick them up from the Amazon link, which is my affiliate link, I do get a little bit of an extra cut with no extra cost to you. But please don't pick him up from Amazon if he's overpriced. Obviously, I don't want you paying more for the figure than it is actually worth. Though I will say this guy is definitely a figure that I would personally not be opposed to paying a little bit more for. I'm not talking in the upwards of like 100 plus, but definitely 50 or more for me personally. Of course, please choose, you know, what to do with your money as you see fit. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I know I most certainly did. And I will see you guys in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.